What's up, guys, and welcome to our Clone Wars Season 7 full episode breakdown for The Phantom Apprentice, which is like a front runner for maybe my favorite episode of the series right now.
Yep. It was exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, and this is what we were hoping for all season, was that like the Siege of Mandalore would be the reason they made Season 7, and that the other two arcs, while they were fine, they weren't the main event. This is the main event, and it's so good.
Yeah, seeing all the Mandalorians fight is so cool.
Yeah, Mandalorians and clones and big battles, and also a lightsaber duel. It's like everything that we love about the Clone Wars, and on top of that, just some really cool plot and thematic stuff going on with Maul. Everything with Maul.
Yeah.
I said this in my review, but it's like, I'm such an idiot for thinking it was a mistake to bring Maul back from the dead.
Well, that was a long time ago.
I know. I just remember my reaction to being like, oh man, they're bringing Maul back to life. And now I'm like, he's the best thing in this show. It's so good. And I want to open with that. Just Maul's plan. Like, he goes into how he did all of this just to try to lure Anakin to him so that he could kill him.
So just to mess up Palpatine's plan.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, you're so close to being a good guy. It's like your motivations still aren't good, but you are trying to, in a way, help out in your own special Maul way.
But he's also slowly being driven mad by wanting to kill Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And it's like he's not trying to save the Republic or give the Jedi a fighting chance, because the whole episode he's like, oh, they're done for. Like, there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
But I can try to make Sidious a little easier to overthrow. And ultimately it's like, so I can swoop in and take his place, because that's the Sith way.
He kind of dances around the idea of Order 66 the entire time he like talks to Ahsoka. And I'm like, oh man, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
There's still room for this, but I'm like, tell her it's Palpatine. Like,
yeah,
I was kind of waiting for him to drop that bombshell, and he might in the next episode. But the whole like, join me, and I'm over here like, no, she won't. She says yes at first, and I don't know if that was a play just to get inside his head, but I thought it was genuine until he talked about Anakin, and she's like, no way.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, she's going to be heartbroken to realize that he was right this whole time.
Yep. And just thinking about all the stuff in Revenge of the Sith that could be happening at the exact same time that this is happening, it all kind of lines up.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting to see like Obi-Wan in this episode. That was a surprise, and then to get into Revenge of the Sith stuff and be like, Dooku's dead. Like, they really keep adding these little sync points so we know where in episode 3 we are.
Yeah, and when Ahsoka learns that Anakin killed Dooku, she's like,
she's surprised, and I feel like we're getting a little bit of a reaction from Obi-Wan where he's like, I don't know, something doesn't feel right about this, because he was unconscious when it happened. And like, the discussion with Maul, like, I said this in my review too, but I felt like a big old dum-dum, because in my mind, that was always just to drive Anakin further to the dark side, kill my old apprentice, become my new one, that kind of thing. But it's like, oh, duh. Like, also, he knows who Sidious really is, and that's just one less person now. Like, tying up loose ends. And that never dawned on me until Obi-Wan is like, capturing Maul is very important now, because he's like one of the only people left that knows the identity of Sidious.
Yeah.
Like, the stakes were so high in this episode, even though we know basically how it's all going to end. I was still just like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, and like, you can kind of tell on Obi-Wan's face, like, he's starting to put the pieces together a little bit.
I think so, yeah. And it's like the Jedi kind of do that in season 6, but it's just too late, and there's not enough time, I guess, to investigate all this stuff properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Order 66 and Maul kind of dancing around it, he really got close to talking about it with Jesse, the captured clone, where he just keeps talking vaguely about the plan, and Jesse's like, what plan? And it's like, oh, you poor man.
Yeah.
All the clones.
And, like, I don't know, leading up to this scene, it felt like this was going to be a bigger deal, like him mind tricking a clone. We thought maybe he would like trip the switch a little bit, but it turned out to just be like he got some information out of him and then let him go.
Yeah, I think people, including me, were like, oh, they're building this up a lot because it was like the clip they released earlier in the week. But they're not going to drop something too juicy.
Yeah.
It was just like, they've captured Jesse, and it seemed like it was going to be a big plot point. And I think they were trying to do a little bit of a bait and switch with us.
Yeah, and the fact that he was like an older clone, now looking back, I'm like, maybe just for the sake of knowing more information.
I think that's all he needed. He didn't know Ahsoka very well, and he needed to understand her. And Jesse was someone that has like been around this whole time. And he gets like her full story about how she left the Order and why. And I love that he kind of felt this kinship with her, because it's like, yeah, we're both dejected apprentices. Like, I was cast aside, you were cast aside, let's team up.
Yeah.
It made sense. And I wanted it to happen. I knew it wouldn't, but I was like, when she said yes, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I did too. And like there was a little bit of a Last Jedi kind of moment there too, and he's got his like hand extended and he's like, join me. And there's like flame embers floating around. The
explosion comes in, and yeah, I think that's what they were going for. Like, it's poetry, it rhymes, and so they had that explosion blow all the fire in.
Yeah.
And then the fight, like, we knew that Ray Park came in to do mocap for it, and you could just tell. Mm-hmm. It seemed like him again, like from Duel of the Fates, and I just loved that.
Yeah, I loved seeing Ahsoka fight. It reminded me of when she fought Vader in Rebels, and it just looked so good.
Yeah, they're both very fast and acrobatic. It's a fun matchup. Whether they're enemies or allies, it was like just too much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I really got a kick out of her throwing him out of the window and like it leaving that kind of cartoony outline because of his lightsaber. I thought that was fun.
I didn't notice that.
That made me laugh. But then Maul's like trying to make his escape, and Gar Saxon calls for reinforcements, and he's like, pass.
Yeah.
I liked that. And it kind of leads into Saxon like joining with the Empire, because we know he eventually does do that in Star Wars Rebels. So he's also just kind of dejected. He thought that he was like one of Maul's golden boys, and he's not. And
we get to see the Shadow Initiative.
Collective.
Shadow Collective.
That's one of those things that people have been asking about, like, was it disbanded? It was in Son of Dathomir, and like now it seems like they're still around, and I think there's room for them to have disbanded and Maul like kind of force them back together, because we don't know how long after Son of Dathomir this is taking place. But also we get a Dryden Voss cameo. Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
That was so cool.
I just wasn't expecting Crimson Dawn to be kind of this far along. Where did he find Dryden Voss? How does, like, Crimson Dawn is already in its early stages. But yeah, it was great to see him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, people are all like, I am getting a lot of questions about Ahsoka's lightsabers and where the name Fulcrum came from. And yeah, there are a lot of tiny little discrepancies between these episodes and what we've known before from the Ahsoka novels, Son of Dathomir, Dark Disciple. But they're ultimately like these really minor little things that don't matter. Yeah. And I'm like, everyone just chill and make a note in your mind. Like, next time you read the Ahsoka book and it says green lightsabers, they're blue. Like, that's all you have to do. It doesn't change the story at all.
If those little details are making you angry, there's something more behind that.
Well, and like, I honestly don't really remember what it says about Maul and Ahsoka in the Ahsoka book and how he escapes. And I think it all happened on Mandalore, and it sounds like his escape will take place on a Republic cruiser or something. But just big picture, it's still the same thing. They capture Maul, he escapes because Order 66 happens, I assume. And that's what it said in the book. And again, we'll see if it changes, but it's like, if you just view it as like broad strokes, it's fine. The more detail-oriented you get and the more you want every little thing to line up, it's like you're just setting yourself up for failure and sadness.
Yeah. Do you think you would have rather had these last 4 episodes released as a movie to kind of bookend the Clone Wars itself?
Yeah, we talked about this last week, and yes and no. I think so. It would have been fun if they had said, like, May 4th is all of the Siege of Mandalore or something like that. But yeah. I'm also grateful to, like, get these extra weeks of new content. It's fun to break down each episode and like look forward to what's going to happen next. So I would have been fine either way.
Or I mean, Order 66 is pretty much next.
I mean, what else is there? Okay, so this is something fun. You can kind of hear Palpatine's little like roar from when he fights Mace Windu and Kit Fisto and all them. And so someone synced up.
You can hear that in this episode of Clone Wars. Yeah,
right when Darth Maul starts to attack Ahsoka. So basically, the Ahsoka Maul duel is happening alongside the Sidious and the other 4 Jedi duel. And so someone synced that up. Well, I think so. I think that's what that roar is meant to symbolize.
Yeah.
I think they are kind of giving us little audio clues so we know where in the story we are. And if that's the case, Order 66 is like the next thing that happens. It might happen at the start of the next episode. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, are her lightsabers gone? Did someone pick them up? We didn't see.
Well, see, I kind of, the second she dropped it, it immediately reminded me of Kenobi dropping his on Utapau. And I was like, oh man, like, we're going to get a mirror of that scene. Rex is going to be like, you dropped these, and hand them back.
Yeah.
And I still think he's going to activate Order 66. Star Wars Rebels says that he removed his chip beforehand, or at least he says he didn't betray his Jedi, but he has no scar on his head right now. I don't think he's removed his chip. I think he's going to activate. And because that just feels like the worst possible thing to happen to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And we know he's going to get snapped out of it, but still, like, that's going to be rough.
Yeah.
And also, I was surprised that Maul left Jesse alive, but we were talking about it. It's like, well, he knows what's about to happen. It's not like he's going to be alive for long, and that's going to be even worse because, like, now it's a guarantee, I feel, that Ahsoka or Rex is going to have to kill Jesse.
I don't know what to think.
I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this episode? It was just so good.
It was so good. And yeah, I'm just like ready for the next one, but also not ready.
Yeah. I mean, we just had Order 66 and Fallen Order as well. It's like they just keep bringing that back and it's always effective.
But it's going to be great to be able to know this storyline from Ahsoka's point of view. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just glad. I'm so glad that it's ending like this and that it's living up to all the hype. It's been a joy. Like when I do my reviews as well, it like the show looks so good. So when I'm doing my reviews, I have to go through and capture images from the episodes. And I usually just get like the best shots, but I feel like I am capturing every other frame. Like I have so many images from this one episode because they all look good.
We'll make a scrapbook.
Yeah. Little hearts around Maul and Rex and Ahsoka forever.
Or Maul and Ahsoka forever.
Yeah.
But what could have been?
Yeah. That would have been a great team up, I think. But that's going to be it for The Phantom Apprentice. Thank you guys for watching along with us. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And consider checking out our Patreon page where we are uploading audio commentaries for all these new episodes, and this one will be out as soon as we can do it. But as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.